Now, there's a video making the rounds on social media today that I thought was an extremely important one to take a look at, in particular, not just for women, who is kind of the subject of the video, but men, on why you should own something to protect yourself, should you be allowed to legally. Well, you should own something to protect yourself anyway. But anyway, it's a video that's actually, this is modern Twitter. You know, now everyone just shares videos with no context, and you find out later that it's years old and things like that. Well, this is a video from a few years ago, but it's making the rounds on social media, and it's absolutely terrifying. You know, AMUs, again, they do this. They share a video that's, you know, years old. But this is the reality of many particular police interactions.
911 emergency. My ex-boyfriend is trying to break into my house. I'm not letting him in, but he's like tried to break down the door and he's trying to break into one of the windows.
So the gist of this call, I won't play the entire 3 minutes and 40 seconds of it because it's just brutal. This is a woman who's got some upset ex-boyfriend. And wait till you hear what happened at the end of this, too.
He put me in the hospital a few weeks ago, and I've been trying to keep him away. I told him I was going to call. He's now trying to break in through the window. He's trying to jimmy it open.
Okay. Do you have anybody else in the house with you?
Lady, why do you think she's calling 911?
No, I don't.
Okay. Does he live there?
No, he does not.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have anybody to send out there.
Okay.
I don't have anyone to send out there. I've got no police to help you. Pay your taxes, though. Attend the policeman's ball.
You know, obviously, if he comes inside the residence and assaults you, can you ask him to go away, or?
Can you ask him to go away? That's a saying. When seconds count, cops are minutes away. That's why you should always stay strapped. You take the time. You don't have to be a gun nut, okay? You don't have to be a gun nut. You can go, and anybody can go pick a basic Glock 17 or Glock 19 or Glock 23, whatever they are. You just get a basic 45 caliber double stack Glock. That's all you need. Don't let all the gun weirdos be like, well, this is what you should really get. This is what you should get. This is what you should really... No. Okay? Just get yourself a Glock and you'll be fine. Go to the range a few times, practice with it, put it in your hand, get used to it. You know, and you're going to be fine. All right? Don't get stuck in the weeds about what you should get. I'm not saying that, you know, Glock is the best. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, right? You can get all butthurt about me saying Glock, but my point is that it doesn't matter. Combat Tupperware is going to work every time, all right? Don't get stuck in the weeds with a bunch of weirdos. Like, well, what you really got to do is get this specific. Doesn't matter. You want to do your research. You want to go get an H&K. You want to go get a SIG. You want to go get a Ruger. You want to go. That's fine. But what I'm saying is if you're like most people, see, most people that chime in on this conversation are in the world. And they don't understand what it's like to suffer from paralysis via overanalysis. If you're just looking for your first, you know, I want to have this in the kitchen drawer just in case my crazy ex-boyfriend shows up or my crazy ex-girlfriend, you don't need to look at every possible scenario. 45 caliber double stock, not, you know, Glock with hollow point or home defense rounds, Hornady home defense rounds. That's all you need. And it's going to get the job done. You want to put a bunch of extra work in. You want to figure out exactly what you want. That's cool. You want to become a collector. That's cool. That's how it starts for me, right? First one I ever got was a Kimber 1911 Eclipse 2, I think. Now, well, before I had my tragic boating accident, you know, I had something like 40. You don't need that. You just need one. And they're not that expensive. Plus, I mean, you can buy them used. But, you know, especially if you go to a shop, You get yourself a nice Glock. It's like $300 or $400 and you're good. A couple boxes of ammo. You get to the range. You practice once or twice. That's all you need. Make sure it's comfortable in your hand. Go to a local shop that will spend some time with you. It takes 30 minutes to get prepared for this.
Do you know if he's intoxicated or anything?
I've already asked him. I've already told him I was calling you. He's spoken before, busted down my door, assaulted me. Yeah, so...
Is there any way you can safely leave the residence?
No, I can't.
It's already been a minute, by the way.
Pretty much my only way out.
With a vehicle, or...?
With the vehicle and with himself on my front door also.
Okay, is there anybody that you can call to come over and help you?
You called 911! You did call! That's who you're supposed to be able to call.
Or do you have any friends?
He has...
Do you have any friends? What do you mean? What she needs is a super basic. Here's even more basic. If you're a little more concerned about which type of hand cannon you want to use, go get a Remington 870 Express. You can buy it from Walmart. You can buy a case of 100 shells and that sucker for a couple $100, and that thing's going to put a giant hole in whatever you point it at. You don't even need to spend a lot of time getting ready with that. Go out and fire it. Know how it works. Know how to anticipate this kind of, that kind of stuff. But what do you mean? Do you have any friends you can call? So I'm her friend, right? I go over there and I put a hole in this guy. What do you think's going to happen? I'm going to get charged. Oh, I'm going to call my new boyfriend. He's going to show up and he's going to be armed and he's going to handle the threat. By the way, this guy broke in and R-worded her. Just so you know. He choked her and then took her by force against her will. That's how this story ends. He gets inside and he forces himself on her.
Sat there and destroyed my phone that had all of my contacts in it because I had neighbors. Because he's done this. I can't get a hold of my neighbors. I don't know what the phone numbers are. I just had to get a new phone.
Okay. Well, the only thing I can do is give you some advice and call the sheriff's office tomorrow.
Call the sheriff's office tomorrow when you're dead. When you're dead.
Obviously, if he comes in and unfortunately has a weapon or is trying to cause you physical harm, that's a different story. The sheriff's office doesn't work up there. I don't have anybody to send.
Okay.
And we don't dispatch for him. Like I said, it's an unfortunate situation.
Okay, but I'll have to take care of myself, I guess.
Well, you have every right to do that. I can't tell you what to do, but is he still there?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
This woman's bawling her. She's having a total meltdown, and she's just... This is what happens when you defund the police. This is what happens when you dispatch the social workers. Is this a social worker that we're hearing right now? At this point, it's been 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Plenty of time.
Yeah, and like I said, it's...
Then he put me in the hospital a few weeks ago, and I've been trying to keep him away.
Do you have a restraining order?
I do not, because he's left very...
And here's the story. Dispatcher informs her that there are no cops there to help, and instead tells her to ask the attacker to leave. I mean, are you joking? This is the state. This is the state of policing. The woman explained that her ex-boyfriend, blah, blah, because a number of deputies in Josephine County Sheriff's Department had been cut following the expiration of a Secure Rural Schools and Communities Self-Determination Act, a multi-million-dollar annual federal aid program. This is literally what happens when you defund the police for timber-producing counties. So she lived out in the boonies, essentially. Right? The only remaining officers were only available from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. So if you want to commit crime, just do it at 5 o'clock. If you want to commit a crime, just do it at 5 o'clock. Like, are you kidding me? There isn't a day that goes by that we don't have another victim. There's 83,000 people in that county, and also is looking to further cuts that would leave just one sheriff's deputy on patrol for 83,000 people. Josephine County, I don't know what state that is. Oregon. Ha! Of course it is. After 5 o'clock, the perfect time for crime. So this is what I'll tell you. You know, I am not, even though, you know, there was a time, again, before that tragic boating accident, that I did like to collect various weapons. I'm not one of those people that acts like it would ever be easy to pull the trigger. I understand. Okay? But if this woman, I think I can say with 100% confidence, had simply had a Walmart shotgun, none of this would have happened. Right? None of it would have happened. She would, you know, or a Glock or whatever, you know. This is what happens when you defund the police. This is what happens when you make people afraid to arm themselves, to make them think that you're some kind of weirdo. No. This is the, you know, if you should have something to protect yourself always. Police do not have a legal responsibility to protect you. Remember that. You take Joe Biden's advice, but you don't fire it into the air. You put it into his chest area and it will be over. It's always better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. If this woman had just had that laying around in the broom closet, you know, covered in dust, she would pull that trigger, I guarantee it would have worked. And then when the cops got up back on shift in a day or in 8 hours, they could come pick up the body. Brutal. Stay strapped.